Hey traders, control the trade here. It's about 10 of 12 Eastern time, and looks like the market's coming into a really interesting area here. At least Apple certainly is. Apple's definitely looking to bottom out sooner or later here. We still have some time for it to find its base. Oops. We still have some time for it to find its base, and it just keeps going lower. That's why I'm getting a lot of alerts right now. It's not a trade that I have on right now or anything like that, but it's something I want to be aware of if it does come into my area, my levels, because the SPY is starting to dip right now into support. And I think people are going to load up and start thinking, oh, here it is. We're finally seeing the dip again, or excuse me, we're finally seeing the sell-off again, but it's just not happening right now. There's not enough volume right now. There's not enough volume right now, not enough institutional participation. It's just creeping down into other support areas. Let's look at the daily chart on the SPY before we go to other stocks. Oh, my SPY chart's a mess. Let's see, let's go back here. So I know off the top of my head, somewhere around 391.50 is probably the area that I'd be looking at to find support. Maybe a little below that. But more importantly, let's go to some stocks here. Like Apple right now is just plummeting, but you know that it's going to find support sooner or later here. Let's see. That is quite. I wonder if there's any. Not that I pay attention to the news, because you know, maybe for a spark, obviously. But I wonder if there's any news around this right now. I think Apple's kind of the canary in the coal mine here, because the whole market is. We're seeing all-time new highs, and you have one of the leaders in Apple, who just reported really robust earnings. And again, I don't look at the fundamentals, but come on, seriously, it's lagging the rest of the market. That makes no sense. And it just feels to me that it's sitting on the bench ready to break out. Same thing with Amazon, ready to bring everything over the SPY over 4,000. It's just a feeling. It's just from experience. It makes no sense that that stock is lagging. You also have a really healthy XLF, which is strong indicator that the market is healthy for now. Same thing with IWM, making new highs every day. Right, let's look at the stocks that we were talking about earlier, though. I gave fair warning about this in the video. Didn't enter in. Once we saw 30 get breached, that was very bearish. Obviously, this move here was terrible if you're bullish on this stock. 28s are low, and I mentioned in the video, if we creep down lower, that's a bad sign. We're just going to keep going lower and lower and getting pressure, versus if we had spiked at the open, if we had spiked harder and there was more volume, maybe we would have had some buyers down below 28. We haven't gotten there, so maybe Palantir is just taking kind of a day off from doing what it's been doing lately, which is it's been a beast lately. So let's go to SAVA. My number on this is 56. Look at this trickery here. At least in my mind, these two candles look like reversal candles. There wasn't enough volume on them to really throw me off, and they weren't. We never were closing above 56. Once we closed above 56, gave me the confidence to jump in and get more shares, and now we're just rolling right now. Now it looks like we're getting a little squeeze going. Maybe we're going to run up to 60, test that area, hopefully higher. So what a good run for SAVA today, for SAVA. What else were we looking at here? Let's go back to Apple, see where it's at. Still trying to find that bottom. I mean, it looks terrible right now. It's incredibly bearish. But if we do get a reversal today, you better believe Apple's going to be part of that. We have a nice doji candle forming here in SPY. Let's Tilray, I feel like, is just taking a couple days of rest here before earnings. There's just nothing going on with Tilray. So the main ones I'm watching right now, SAVA, because it's got a lot of momentum behind it. What else do I have here? FSR, great start. Took all profits I got out. Once I started to see this candle form right here, I was out. But I still think it's got another push higher. But I wanted to take my profits, pocket them, and then kind of regroup. And right now it looks like we're trying to base around here. So I jumped back in, I think about 19... Where did I buy in? 1967. Where are we now? 1960s. I'm happy with that. Before I was buying in the 18s, I believe. It looks good. I mean, this chart looks great. Not a lot of volume right now, though. Same thing with TWOU. TWOU really shit the bed. It does this. It really does this. If you look back, not many people probably pay attention to the stock, but it always seems to launch up and then just trail off the rest of the day. As long as we stay above the low of this candle, though, we're good. The low on this candle is 56.25. Have we closed below 56.25? 56.80 was the close. The low is 56.20. We teased it, and right now we're teetering. So let's see what happens by 12 o'clock, 12:30. We'll really know. Can we get a pattern where we go up, then down, and then third leg up? That's what you would hope, but there's just no volume. There's no participation in this. So the opposite of that is going to be just kind of trailing off down here, kind of consolidating. But what's key here is the low of this candle, at least for the intraday for 10-minute chart. Let's see what else we have going on before we wrap it up. SPY is still teasing this little doji here, this little reversal. But again, there's just no volume today. Maybe that'll change. Maybe there'll be some sort of spark later in the day. We see that happen sometimes out of nowhere. It hasn't felt like that lately. Look at that nice run, almost to 60 on SAVA. I'm going to set an alert up here. I'm sure it'll pull back a little bit. This one's super volatile. PLTR still dying. Yep. You want to set an alert down here. I feel like if it does continue to slowly grind down like this, maybe you'll start seeing a lot more selling. Maybe you'll start seeing a flush down to the other areas that we talked about in the video. A lot of maybes, but it's just laying on the 50-period moving average, which is definitely not bullish. You want a reaction off that. You want it to jump off that. You don't want it to just sit there and take a nap. The low of this candle here is 25.82. That's what was talked about in the video. Maybe we go down to 26.27 area and test that area and see what happens. There's just not a lot of, let's say, tape on this. Not a lot of activity on this chart for us to really have an understanding of this stock, at least from a chartist and technical standpoint. Let's see the 10-minute on Apple. Okay, nice doji here. Are we finally getting that bottom we've been talking about? Maybe. There's just no volume though again, so this is just a no trade. This is where you go have lunch and just call it a day at this point. Not really a good time to trade. Set some alerts and forget about it. It says stare at the charts. What did I just do there? Let's look at TWOU and SAVA and then we'll wrap it up. Don't like this candle on TWOU right now. Gotta stay above that number we talked about, 56.25. Important hourly closes coming up, 12:30. Let's see here. And SAVA. SAVA is beast still. Alright, that's it. I hope you're having a great day today. I hope that your trades are going well. And remember, don't let the trade control you. Thanks for watching.